नमस्कार। आज की दोपहर 1:34 पर आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है और हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं श्री मधुकर स्वयंभू जी, जो हेड रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट में वैदिक इकोनॉमिक्स में है एंड इनका बहुत योगदान है बेसिकली वाटर क्राइसिस को लेकर। और आज जो हमारा फोकस है दोपहर को वो पंजाब पर है, और जो बहुत ही खूबसूरत राज्य है और जहां पर आने वाले वक्त में आज की डेट में क्या चैलेंजेस हैं, फ्यूचर में क्या चैलेंजेस हो सकते हैं और उनका समाधान क्या है, उसके लिए हमारे साथ मधुकर जी आज बातचीत करेंगे। लेकिन प्रोग्राम उनको हैंडओवर करने से पहले मैं 3-4 स्लाइड्स आप लोगों के साथ शेयर करना चाहूंगा। इंटरनेशनल चेंबर फॉर सर्विस इंडस्ट्री जो हमारा 1994 से बेसिकली नॉन रेजिडेंट इंडियंस, जो इंडियन डायस्पोरा है, जो लोग बाहर गए हैं, सबसे पहले यह कार्यक्रम पंजाबियों के साथ शुरू हुआ। जो लोग कनाडा गए हुए हैं, यूएसए में गए हैं या यूके में गए हैं, वो सब लोग आस्ता आस्ता एकत्रित होने लगे और फिर 2003 में भारतीय प्रवासी दिवस की आगाज उसका आरंभ हुआ और उसके बाद सफर आगे चलता गया। आज तकरीबन 30 मिलियन के करीब नॉन रेजिडेंट इंडियंस देश विदेश में हैं। They all are abroad in different countries, different places. So ladies and gentlemen, we extend a very hearty welcome. हमारे चेंबर की तरफ से ड्यूरिंग दिस लॉकडाउन, ड्यूरिंग दिस पैंडेमिक, हम पूरे 7 दिन बहुत सारे कार्यक्रम को लेकर आ रहे हैं और YouTube पर ये प्रोग्राम आपको लाइव मिलते हैं और उसके बाद ये YouTube के चैनल पर भी अवेलेबल है। कोई चाहे किसी समय कहीं पर भी किसी तरीके से भी इसको देख सकता है। तो मंडे, ट्यूसडे, वेडनेसडे, थर्सडे, फ्राइडे, सैटरडे, संडे हमारा पूरा कार्यक्रम रहता है और इस पूरे कार्यक्रम के अंदर मंडे, ट्यूसडे, वेडनेसडे, थर्सडे 4 दिन हम यूथ और टीचर्स एम्पावरमेंट पर प्रोग्राम करते हैं। फ्राइडे को सिंगापुर से श्री अनिल मनोचा जी, जो हमारे सीनियर एडवाइजर हैं वाटर मैनेजमेंट स्ट्रेटजीज के, वो अपने कार्यक्रम को पूरी तरीके से पैकेजिंग लेकर आते हैं। और सैटरडे को हम लोग शिकागो चलते हैं क्योंकि स्वामी विवेकानंद जी का 11 सितंबर 1893 को, जो वहां पर 127 साल पहले जो उन्होंने अपने विचार रखे थे और पूरे विश्व को पता लगा था कि ये इंसान कौन है, तो उनकी एजुकेशन और यूथ के साथ क्या रेलेवेंस है, वो हम लेके चलते हैं सैटरडे को। और संडे को हम आपको लेकर आते हैं माइक्रो, स्मॉल और मीडियम एंटरप्राइज में, जहां पर स्टार्टअप, सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंट, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, इन सब चीजों के मुद्दों को हम आगे लेकर चलते हैं। कुछ विशेष कार्यक्रम हैं, जैसे सैटरडे शाम को एक आयुर्वेदा का प्रोग्राम रहता है, संडे सुबह श्रीमद् भगवत गीता का रहता है, संडे दोपहर लंच के बाद 2 कार्यक्रम इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं। 3 बजे भारतीय समय अनुसार जो इंडिया और आसियान को आगे लेकर चलता है, और रात्रि को 8 बजे एक कार्यक्रम नॉन रेजिडेंट इंडियंस के साथ होता है। हमारे को विश्व भर से और खासकर भारत के कई राज्यों से बहुत सारे विचार आए। उन्होंने हमें कहा कि आपके ज्यादातर कार्यक्रम अंग्रेजी में होते हैं, व्हाई डोंट यू हैव ए सीरीज और व्हाई डोंट यू हैव ए प्रोग्राम इन हिंदी ऑल्सो। तो आपके पास मंडे टू संडे हम दोपहर को 12:30 बजे कार्यक्रम हिंदी में करते हैं कि क्या चाहते हैं आज का युवा, आज की युवा पीढ़ी की क्या सोच है, आज की युवा पीढ़ी को क्या चाहिए। ये एक मोटिवेशनल प्रोग्राम है जो बच्चों के लिए रोज आता है, वेयर यंगस्टर्स के संबंधी जितने भी मुद्दे हैं, जो भी एरियाज हैं, उनको डिस्कस किया जाता है। So ladies and gentlemen, we extend a very hearty welcome this afternoon to Madhukar Swayambhuji. He is a seasoned professional with over 20 years of experience with a zeal for technical sales, cherishing the work of creating technical edge in the solution offering. Madhukarji has been awarded by Jal Shakti Mantralaya as Water Hero. He has been in top 3 authors in the global ranking of Spanish Smart Water magazine. He restored over 10 standing and flowing water bodies across the country. Their case studies have been published on the front page of the newspapers and covered in prime time of TV news, and have delivered talks in various management institutes, including NIFTEM and the global platform of TED. So ladies and gentlemen, इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ आज की दोपहर बहुत बहुत स्वागत है मधुकर जी का। और मैं उनसे निवेदन करूंगा कि वो आगे कार्यक्रम को लेकर चलें और अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की तरफ से जो भी उनके विचार हैं वाटर कंजर्वेशन के लिए, वाटर सेविंग के लिए, वाटर की स्ट्रैटेजी के लिए, वाटर को हर चीज से मैनेज करने के लिए, और खासकर जो केस स्टडी आज पंजाब के लिए रहे हैं उसके ऊपर हम आगे विचार करेंगे। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ बहुत बहुत स्वागत है हमारा मधुकर जी का।
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. I'll just straight away switch on to the presentation. I'll just share the screen. Is my screen visible, sir?
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, बिल्कुल ठीक है जी।
Okay. Okay.
प्लीज कब जी।
So, जैसा कि आपने बताया, we are going to focus on the water crisis in Punjab and the solution for it. Crisis is very well known to almost everybody who hails from Punjab or who has studied Punjab or who has got their links with Punjab. And solution is what we're going to focus primarily because पिछले about 10 साल से बातें तो बहुत हो रही हैं, but nobody has actually offered a solution. So let's begin with understanding of the crisis first. This is original Punjab. It is famous all across the globe thanks to Mr. Yash Chopra, wherein he has shot a lot of films in Punjab and he has shown Punjab like this. By and large, when we hear the name Punjab, it is a combination of five rivers, Punjab, five rivers. So that is the image that comes into our mind. A state which is very very rich in agriculture and the basic Punjabi culture as well. But if we look at the reality of Punjab today, this is the groundwater assessment of Government of India categorized for the groundwater in 2017. This red is alarmingly bad water condition. Now, how we arrived to this situation in 2017? You see, this is the only part of the state which has got absolutely fine water tables. Rest, about 80% of the Punjab has got this acute water scarcity problem. And this is 2017, this is not today. Now, way back in year 2000, this was the condition. Almost 80% of Punjab was absolutely fine. And this is the condition in 2010. And this is in 2019. So the groundwater is consistently going down. The water table, the underground aquifer level is consistently going down. This is the condition of Punjab today, and there are people who estimate that by the year 2035, almost 90% of the Punjab will be having the basic availability of water as a key challenge, not just for irrigation purpose but also for drinking purpose. So why are we heading towards this kind of a situation? That is very very important to understand before we attempt to solve the problem. This is very important to understand that how did we arrive at this situation. Now, as I said, Punjab, Ab is water. It is basically rivers, and land of five rivers is Punjab. That is how the name comes into existence. But that used to be a situation earlier. The land of five rivers after partition has actually become a land of man-made canals and dams. If you look at the paleo channels of the rivers, these five rivers which are supposed to be deciding the name of Punjab, all five of them are there into the Punjab which is there in Pakistan now. So in the part of Indian Punjab, we have got only three rivers out of those five rivers, right? And they are also just marginally touching through, right? And the next historic I would say, development which happened with Punjab was when in 60s, in 63, 64, when government of India brought in the concept of green revolution with mechanized farming, with chemical based farming. Mr. Swaminathan had gone all the way to America to import it. Punjab was one of the first state to embrace it with open hands, and the traditional way of Indian agriculture was replaced with the chemical and the mechanical based farming, which introduced a lot of chemicals to the agricultural landscape of Punjab, and as a result, there was a huge growth into the crops. But then the soil ecology was largely disturbed with the infestation of chemicals. Then another, I would say, historic mistake was that Punjab was essentially, Punjab and Haryana, both the states were essentially developers, growers of wheat, not for paddy, but for the sake of again a green revolution and fulfilling the needs of the country. Punjab and Haryana both were pushed towards paddy cultivation. Now there is a agroclimatic zone. As per the agroclimatic zone, Punjab was designed for wheat cultivation, not for paddy cultivation, because paddy needs a lot of water, right? And by pushing Punjab towards paddy cultivation, this new crop which was introduced needed a lot of water, and all that water was started getting consumed. And then finally, industrialization of this state was further uh, introduction intervention into the ecology. So where we are because of these events in the past. Now this is what is the condition today. These are the top newspapers: Business Today, Hindu, Tribune, Indian Express, wherein everybody is reporting the water scarcity in Punjab, right? This is 2019, this is also 2019, and this is 2020. All party meet passes resolution Punjab water crisis, right? These are all recent reports. None of them is has been a historic report. This is all 2019 and 20 only. So why this crisis is happening? The crisis is because the sewage production is high and the groundwater extraction is high. Almost about 71% of the irrigation in Punjab is happening via the extraction of groundwater through tube wells and bore wells. Right? Irrigation is very high. The air pollution is very high. The water pollution is very high. The soil pollution is very high because invariably everywhere all across Punjab the usage of chemical fertilizers, insecticide, pesticides, everything is very very high, right? And the drinking water is depleting. The water crisis is being experienced all across. There is a crisis even for the irrigation water, and the underground water table is depleting because the extraction is way too high compared to refilling or the recharge of the underground aquifer. So this is the condition. This image is from Indian Express, wherein they are trying to pictorically depict the condition that the wells are getting dried, and these are the regions: Moga, Barela, Patiala, Fatehgarh, Ludhiana, Jalandhar, Kapurthala. All of them are facing an acute shortage of water. Now, let's come on to the solution side of it. We have understood the problem very well. Now, let us come on to the solution side of it. What we propose is the resuscitation of the native ecology in soil, water, and air is the solution. This is the only solution for reinstating the natural abundance of the state of Punjab. God has created the state as a abundant state. There was abundance of water. There was abundance of fertile land. The air was always very fresh. But time and again, the intervention we have done with the ecology, whether it is soil, water, or air, has actually resulted into this kind of a crisis situation. So let's look at the water profile of the state. We have got ample amount of natural resources. There are four rivers, which out of which three are perennial, which is Satluj, Byas, and Ravi. Ghaggar is a seasonal river. Uh, Ghaggar has been there for quite some time, but it gets dried, and the reason for drying is also something that we'll be covering in the upcoming slides. The 12 natural wetlands, out of which there are about uh, four or five which have been Ramsar sites. There are 1,821 natural village ponds, which are bigger than 2.5 hectare. So there is ample amount of natural water resources that exist, but unfortunately they are not in a condition wherein they can be used as a water resource. Now, coming on to the man-made side of it, as I said, it was a land of five rivers, but now it is a land of man-made canals and dams. So we have about 14,500 kilometer long canal network. The major canals, the man-made canals, are already listed here, wherein we have Upper Bari Doaba, and then we have Bish Doaba, Sirhan, uh, Bhakra Nangal Dam, everybody knows, and that starts the Bhakra Canal as well. Then there is a Bikaner Canal, then there is a Firozpur Canal. There are nine man made wetlands and about 3,113 man made village ponds. Now, given this kind of an infrastructure and the average annual rainfall, which is 400 to 500 millimeter every year, given this kind of a water profile of the state, if we do the resuscitation of the ecology, there'll be ample amount of water and there'll be ample amount of recharge. So before we get on to the solution side, let us understand what was gifted to Punjab by nature. Any and every water body, all these water bodies which have been listed, whether it is a natural water body or a man-made water body, any earthen water body, which includes 1,821 natural village ponds and 3,113 man-made village ponds. These are all the ponds which are earthen. The bottom is earth, then we have water, and then we have air, right? So these water bodies are created with a specific function by nature. We all know that over 72% of the planet is water, but this water is of no use for the terrestrial animals and plants, which includes human beings, right? So where is this water which is usable by the terrestrial beings? This water is there into landlocked water body, which is lakes, ponds, and rivers, right? Now, lakes, ponds, and rivers, or rivulets, or the Himalayan streams or springs that we have, all of them have been created by nature for a specific purpose, and there are multiple purposes that they serve. So let's look into the architecture. The bottom is earth, then we have water, and then we have air. So the surface water body gets connected to the underground aquifer, the underground depleting water table that we have just seen in the previous slides. And these two water bodies are connected through soil capillaries. That is the natural way. Now, soil capillaries will take water from the top surface to the aquifer, which is called a recharge, and the same capillaries will take water from the underground aquifer to the top surface water body depending upon where the pressure is high, which means during monsoon, when the rains are heavy, when we have 400 to 500 millimeters of rain, this time, instead of the village getting flooded with water, this entire water from the surface water body will go and recharge the underground aquifer, and the underground water table will get recharged, and it will start coming upwards, right? And during extreme summer, when the evaporation rate is very high, the same soil capillaries will pull up water from underground aquifer to the surface water body, so that the surface water body goes perennial. It neither gets dried in extreme summer nor it floods during the monsoon. So this is one function which is happening with the soil surface. Another function that happens is the air pollution mitigation. Every water body does photosynthesis, so it absorbs the carbon from the atmosphere, that is carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and even methane, and because there are methanogens also. So photosynthesis or methane synthesis happens within the water body, and oxygen is released. So this oxygen gets added to the dissolved oxygen, so that all the aquatic organisms could breathe, and then it is emitted in the air once the holding capacity of the dissolved oxygen level is exceeded, right? So it is doing the air pollution mitigation by attracting all the particulate matter, which is what we call as air pollution. The particulate matter is free flowing solid particles in air, which when we breathe, it gets into our lungs and causes allergic bronchitis in the kids. So all that pollution will be removed by the natural water body, and the carbon sequestration will happen, and emission of oxygen will happen. So this is the exchange happening with the atmospheric layer. Then there is an aquatic food chain inside the water body, which is the single celled organism, which are consumed by the planktons, which are consumed by the bigger fishes, and the excreta of the fishes is ammonia, which is neutralized by the single celled organism. So this is the aquatic food chain which goes inside the water body, right? Now, this is all happening without the use of any machines, without the use of any hydrocarbon fuels, any electricity, no chemicals required, no biologicals required, nothing organic, no human intervention is required. All this is happening naturally. This is how nature has designed the surface water bodies, which are the terrestrial water bodies, from where we get the sweet water for the consumption of terrestrial animals and plants, including human beings, right? So this is the natural process. Now this gets contaminated naturally also, this gets contaminated due to human activities also. Natural contamination can be understood by the process of, let's say, a storm, a cyclone, um, a typhoon, volcanic eruption, or any such kind of natural activity which creates a disturbance within the water body. Even the seismic activity, movement of the tectonic plates, that will also make the aquatic organisms feel that, and they will excrete too much. So their excreta is ammonia. So that is adding too much of ammonia into the water body. Again, for any of the surface activities, like I said, a storm or cyclone, the plantation or the vegetation on the embankment area will shed their leaves, and that will fall into the water body. So that will add phosphate to the water body. So too much of ammonia or phosphates or sulfates will actually lead to eutrophication of the water body. So nature has got its own way of dealing with it. Nature will create weeds. Weeds will come, they will absorb excess, and then they will sink because they have already consumed the excess, and their food is finished. So they will sink, and they'll dry, and they'll sink into the water body, and they'll be decomposed like any other biological waste. So this is the natural process of pollution and solving the problem. But when it gets polluted due to human activities, the the sewage or the industrial effluent that we add to the water body, that will also lead to eutrophication, because our sewage contains a lot of ammonical nitrogen and a lot of phosphates and nitrates. So that will also lead to eutrophication, and the weeds will come and they'll start consuming whatever is excess. But our addition of pollution becomes a consistent perennial activity, because whatever sewage we are producing on a regular basis, and it is getting added to the water bodies on a regular basis. Then we started using a lot of chemicals into the farming also, post the green revolution. And all these chemical residues which are there onto the soil surface, onto the plant surface, during monsoon, all that will get washed away with the rains. And this rain, excess water will flow into the water body. So all the village ponds will have this runoff water from the agricultural lands, and this runoff water will contain all those deadly concoction of the chemicals, whether it is urea or potash or phosphate or pesticide or insecticide or weedicide or fungicide. All that will come into the water body, right? So this will create another deadly concoction of chemicals for the water body to consume. So this will further uh, worsen the situation for the water body, right? And because the weeds have come, the weeds will never go, because their feed is consistently being added. So they'll eventually cover the entire surface, and you would have seen this situation in almost all the village ponds, and even into the urban ponds, wherein the entire surface is covered with water weeds, like hyacinth or azolla or duckweeds and algal bloom and whatnot, right? So this is how the deterioration of water happens. Now this water body contains water but is of no use. Now because it is of no use, obviously there is a scarcity of water. So the village goes under water stress. Now this is at the surface level. Whatever pollution we are adding will eventually settle down in the bottom of the water body, and that will create a layer of sludge. Now, this sludge layer will actually choke the soil capillaries also. So the recharge of the underground aquifer will also not happen naturally. So when that is also not happening, the underground water table will start going down, because as I said, 71% of the Punjab is irrigated by the borewell or the tube well water, which is the underground aquifer, right? So that also leads to the challenge of the underground aquifers consistently getting depleted, right? Now, coming on to the solution side of it, the solution is, as I said, resuscitation of the water body in soil, water, and air. Once the resuscitation has happened, then the the natural condition, which was this, that the underground aquifer recharge is also happening naturally without any human intervention, and the pollution mitigation is also happening naturally, and the water is also healthy, will happen, will occur. Now, right now it is in a dormant stage, right now it is in a decaying stage. So what is the way out? The way out is, so far, whatever treatment of water in terms of the technologies that we have, in terms of whatever the government has been doing in last 50 years is concerned, it is basically a four pronged strategy. Number one, it is water body rejuvenation through the process of desilting, right? So they do a physical desilting. They will take out the entire layer of silt in the bottom, and they will refill the water, and they expect that the water will be absolutely fine. It will be restoration of the water body, but it never happens, because the silt is required for opening up the soil capillary link. So when you desilt it, obviously the link is broken, right? The second strategy that the government takes is plantation drive. Now, you don't plant trees, you plant saplings which have to grow into trees. And the sapling to grow into trees needs lots and lots of water. So it is a water consumer, not a water producer, that it will safeguard from the water crisis situation, right? Then it is the third strategy is basically rainwater harvesting. Now, in the name of rainwater harvesting, what we do is we just take all the rain which is falling onto the rooftop, we take it through pipeline, and we put it into a pit in the soil, from where the water gets leaked, and we expect that the underground aquifer has been recharged. It doesn't go down to the aquifer, rather it gets leaked to the sideways, in adding to the soil moisture. So wherever rainwater harvesting is done, there the plantation drive will succeed, because the soil has got adequate amount of moisture which can be used by the saplings to grow into trees. But it never recharges the underground aquifer, because for that vertical travel you need soil capillaries. And then the fourth step that government takes is sewage treatment plants. So when the sewage treatment plants are there, they are expected to treat the water, and then the outlet of the sewage treatment plant is uh, uh, allowed to enter into any natural water body. Now, here the interesting part is, when you look at the pollution control board standards, there are three standards of water. One is the drinking water, one is the bathing water, and third is the STP outlet. Now, if the STP outlet is neither good for drinking nor it is good for bathing, how can it be good to be released into the natural water body? Obviously it will be polluting the natural water body, and from the same natural water body, from the same canal, or the same lake or pond, farmers are taking out water and using it for irrigation. So it is not entering the human body directly, but rather it is entering through the food chain, because the same contamination will actually reach the crops, and from the crops we'll get the food grains. The food grains will contain all those chemicals, and the same will enter into our food chain. That is why we have got a chemical contaminated food chain today, which is leading to a lot of health problem, health crisis. New kind of diseases are coming up every now and then, right? So all these four pronged strategies have not worked out. Otherwise, we would not have been led to this situation today, because these water conservation steps have been taken for last 40 years, for last 50 years. So that means none of these strategies are working. Otherwise, in historically also, India was never under 54% of stress, water stress. Historically, also, Punjab never had about 79% of the land mass under acute water stress, under a water crisis situation. So that means we need to change the strategy to address the problem. All these philosophies have been the Western philosophies. So there is an Indian side of it also, because India has been the most sustainable civilization on the planet so far. We've got historical and archaeological and multiple science stream evidences that India is there on the same landmass for last 25,000 years. There's a wonderful book written by Mr. Nilesh Oak, in which he has dated Mahabharata and Ramayana, and he has proven it through multiple streams of science, wherein he has put in the exact dates that India has been a continuous civilization for at least last 25,000 years, which is a test of time that no other civilization on this planet has survived. So if we have survived for so long without facing any extinction, that means we have been a very sustainable culture. We have been a very sustainable civilization. So the reason for this sustainability was the Vedic science, was the Vedic culture. And what does the Vedic science say? Vedic science says that there are five key elements to life, which is soil, water, and air are three of them. And because they are the key sources of life on this planet, they themselves cannot be dead. So far, the way we have been dealing with soil, water, and air are like dead substances. Water is H2O, soil is dirt, air is mix of gases. So there is absolutely no life into it. But the Vedic science says these three are living ecologies. These are the only three possible habitats on this planet, and they have been there ever since the planet was formed about 4.2 billion years back. So, if they are the source of life, if they are the only habitats, then they themselves cannot be dead because they are the key source of life on this planet. So, the moment you change your perception from dealing with a dead substance or and dealing with a living ecology, the entire perception change. So, as per the Vedic science, the technology that we have developed is Cownomics technology, in which what we do is we study the water body first, and then we make an Ayurvedic medicine, which is a 100% plant extract, 100% botanical extract, and that extract is diluted into fresh water, and this diluted concentrate is poured, is released into the water body at any one point, and then the entire natural resuscitation process starts. So it is not using any machines, not using any energy engines. It is all a solar solution. It is harnessing the free energies in the environment, in the nature, and using it for the resuscitation process. So how it happens is, as I said, there is a concentrate which is diluted with fresh water, and this diluted concentrate is released into the water body. Once it is released into the water body, the decomposition of the chemicals will start to happen, because all the chemicals which are waiting to be decomposed, they'll get electrons. This diluted concentrate, when added to the water body, supplies the water body with millions and millions of electrons. So the decomposition process will happen, the oxygen will get released, the oxygen will add to the dissolved oxygen level, and it will eventually start appearing onto the surface of the water body, from where it will create a puncture on the top surface, from where the sunlight will enter and the photosynthesis process will restart. So the entire pollution will get consumed in the aqua ecology. The microbial life will be revived from dormancy. It will come back to life, and the viscosity of water will improve. The color will get lightened, and eventually the entire water body, in a span of 1 year, will come back to its natural status, which means the soil capillaries will be re-established after consistent treatment for 1 year. Any and every earth and water body, natural water body, will come back to its native natural state of when it was formed. So it will be as good as a fresh new water body which has just been created, with all the soil capillary links with the underground aquifer re-established, and the all the air pollution mitigation process intact in place. Right. So when this happens, this water will be available for the usage of terrestrial plants and animals. So that means, by and large, the water stress or the scarcity of water will be taken care of by the existing water infrastructure which is already there on the surface in the state of Punjab. Now, when we talk of a state, the state includes urban areas as well as rural areas. So we first start with the urban areas. Urban areas has got certain challenges which are unsolved, which is this: they don't know what to do with the sewage. The water body are in a pathetic state. The air pollution is a perennial problem in all the cities all across the globe, not just in Punjab, not just in India. All across the globe, air pollution is increasing like anything. Then the drinking water crisis is there, and as I said, underground aquifer is depleting consistently. So all these five problems can be addressed in one go like this. Let all the sewage go into the water bodies. Water bodies get treated with the Cowonomics technology that I just explained. This will transform this water body into a fresh water body. These are actual project site pictures. This is from one of the lakes that we treated in Ahmedabad called Idudi Lake. This was the pre-treatment condition wherein you can see a lot of dark green color water, and these white patches are fungal growth in the water. There was a huge algal bloom in the water, and then this was treated and this was converted into this beautiful lake, which was, you can call it a mini urban bird sanctuary, because there was a huge amount of food available for the birds. So birds started coming in flocks and flocks at the water body. The case study for this is there into our YouTube channel, and you can go and search for it there. So this rejuvenated water body is air pollution mitigation, making the water available not just for drinking, for irrigation, for plants and animals, for everybody. And this is also doing the underground aquifer recharge. Now, one additional benefit is, because this natural water body is also doing photosynthesis, so it is doing a carbon sequestration also. So, due to this carbon sequestration, this water body becomes a blue carbon sink. Now, this sequestration can be measured and this can generate carbon credits. So, these carbon credits can actually be sold in the carbon bazaar, and that will add to additional revenue for the municipal authority or for the authority that owns the water body. So, which means restoration of the natural resources, resuscitation of the ecology is not an expense head for the administration, it is rather a revenue head for the administration. So on one hand we are solving all the five problems, on the other hand the solution of the problem is also generating enough amount of revenue for the administration. So that is what is our concept of tax free cities. We can generate so much amount of revenue out of restoration of natural resources in the cities that the cities can go tax free. All the citizens living in the city don't have to pay any taxes to the municipal authorities, because so much of revenue is getting generated. Anyways, that is a separate subject which we can discuss in some other discussion. Now, this was the urban solution. Now let's move to the rural part of the solution. The rural economy is derailed. The livelihood is unsustainable in most of the village. Farmers are under distress. Drinking and irrigation water is a problem. People are wanting to move out of villages to the urban areas, and then all the farmers are under distress. So no farmer wants his next generation to be taking farming as a career. These are the key problems of the rural areas. Now, all this can also be solved with the same solution, resuscitation of the native ecology. You see, I have added the village sewage plus the industrial effluent, because most of the industries are there into the industrial area, and the industrial effluent will actually lead to the canal or lead to any of the natural water body. So when it is coming in, the village sewage, the storm water, the runoff water, and the industrial effluent can all come into the village water bodies, wherein we can do the Cowonomics treatment, and the water body will continue to remain in a good health. The same water can be used for irrigation in terms of drip irrigation and in terms of foliar spray, not as a normal mode of flooding. So this way, about 90% of the water will also be saved during irrigation. And the same water will be used as a supply water for the animal farms, for the animal husbandry. And the cow shed waste is going into the biogas plant, from where the village is getting the fuel and the electricity. And the slurry of the biogas plant is again going back into the water body. So this will keep the aqua ecology alive. And because of the aqua ecology, the ripple effect will be there into the soil ecology as well as into the air ecology. So resuscitation of the native ecology will happen. And using the same water in the agriculture farms will make the entire farmland, whether it is agriculture, horticulture, animal husbandry, or livestock farming, or dairy, or piggery, or poultry, or duckery, or goatery, any kind of life, rearing of any kind of life. When this water is used, which is the rejuvenated water, the entire farm will go disease, pest, and weather resilient. There'll be complete eradication of the chemicals from the farming sector, and also ensuring that the yield is the highest, in both in terms of quality as well as in terms of quantity. Normally what happens is, when people go and preach the farmers that okay, you leave chemical based farming and you switch over to the organic farming, that means the yield will drop by almost 60-65%. Why should a farmer compromise with his yield? Because that is the basic livelihood for the farmer. In this process, the process has already been implemented at plenty of places, wherein the yield grows up compared to the chemical based farming. When you do the ecological integral farming, you are able to increase your yield from day one, from the crop one, from the first crop cycle itself. Your yield is increased, and your quality is the highest quality, because you don't need any fertilizer, insecticide, pesticide, hormones in the plantation. And even the deadly diseases in the plants, which are the viral diseases, even they are taken care of in this process of farming. So the farmer income will go up, because the input cost is reduced and the yield is increased. The biggest challenge for the farmer is to fight with disease, pest, and the unpredictable weather. That is also taken care of. And the profitability is multiple times up. And the rural economy is reinstated. And again, if we can do the measurement of the carbon sequestration happening into the village ponds also, that will add to the additional revenue to the villages. So that's how the rural rejuvenation will happen. And this is the end resultant. There is a symbiotic relationship that gets formed. Like I said, there is a water body, there is agriculture, and there is animal husbandry. So animal husbandry waste is getting into the biogas plant. Biogas plant is giving you the fuel, and the slurry is going into the water body. Water body is the drinking water supply to the animals, and the irrigation to the farmland. So from the farmland, you take out only your economics, which is either the seeds, or the fruits, or the leaves, or the roots. Whatever is left is actually your agri waste, and this agri waste can actually go into the animal husbandry as fodder. So the animals can consume that. And this is a symbiotic relationship between your farmland, your animal husbandry, and your water body. And the same water body can also be used for aquaculture purposes. So every farmer can actually have three different sister concerns for revenue generation. One is agriculture, one is animal husbandry, and one is aquaculture. And the input cost is minimized and profitability is increased. So that is how all the water condition can be restored, the rural economy can be restored, the urban perennial problems can be sorted out, and overall in the entire state, the water stress is taken care of. So that's about it. That is our solution. Reclaiming our natural resources is what is the agenda, and that's what the Vedic science says. Purnamidam Purnat Purnat Mujyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. This basically means when you take out whole out of whole, still what is left is whole. Now, this is something which is ununderstandable by most of the people because we've got a very mathematical training of our brains. 2 minus 2 cannot be 2. Obviously, that is what we understand. But this is not a mathematical explanation. This is all about natural science and life sciences. If you want to understand the natural science and the life sciences, the biggest knowledge bank, the biggest database that you have is Vedic science. And I'll just explain this shlok in a very simplistic manner. When a mother gives a birth to a child, the child is a complete unit in itself. The mother is also a complete unit in herself. So you've taken a whole out of a whole, and still what is left is whole, right? So this is what is our Vedic science. It is uh, difficult to understand, but once you look at it from the scientific perspective, you'll understand it completely well. So that's about my presentation. Now, uh, I would request if anybody has got any questions, or Dr. Gulshan, if you have any queries, maybe you can ask. I don't see any queries coming up here. So maybe what you can do is you can post your queries onto the YouTube channel comment box, and from there maybe we can uh, collect all the queries, and we can answer the queries eventually. And as Dr. Gulshan had mentioned into the invitation itself, you can leave your email IDs in the YouTube comment box so that you can get the certificate for attending the session. And once we have your mail IDs, whatever queries you have put in, you'll get the answer to your queries as well. So that's about it. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much for joining in. Thank you.